Do I worry for you? Yeah, I have some worries. I worry what's going to happen when you wake up tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon. Do you realize that you're not going to be the host of The Daily Show anymore? Yeah, you're just going to be a best-selling author who does comedy in sold-out arenas around the world. Hashtag pray for Trevor.
That was comedian Neal Brennan serving as the final guest on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. You might say the Emmy-nominated writer and comedian plays well with others. He helped Dave Chappelle achieve stardom with the innovative sketch comedy show they co-created and co-wrote. He's also directed specials for Seth Myers, Michelle Wolf, and other comics. But now Brennan's back to his own stand-up roots and back in the spotlight with Blocks, his second Netflix special. Jamie Wax caught up with the comedian in Los Angeles to hear more about his multifaceted comedy career.
I was talking to a white lady. She just says, I had no idea things were so bad between black people and the police. I was like, yeah, there's no way you could have known, unless you listen to any song by a black person ever.
Neal Brennan is known for pushing the limits of just how far comedy can go.
Yeah, I did all the Catholic milestones, baptism, First Holy Communion, confirmation, atheism, right?
Both as a writer and as a performer.
Do you consider yourself a solo artist or a stand-up comic, or do you think there should be no boundary?
I think of myself as a stand-up comic chiefly, and then in order to make the shows a little more dynamic, I'll throw a little,
Something.
Yeah. I gotta be the only person who was ever asked the question, Neal, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? And I was like, oh.
That something is on full display in his innovative confessional specials like 3 Mics.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to have dropped out. Because I realized early on that these student loans are basically small business loans, and the business is you, and you're maybe not such a great business.
And his latest special, Blocks.
When I think about when this show was taped and when we're sitting here now, it's unbelievable how many things within a short time you commented on that could have been today.
Yes, but the American life is sort of, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. I am afraid of guns, but it turns out the cops are too. The guns aren't going away, Kanye's not going away, weed's not going away, alcohol's not going away, racism's not going away, and gender differences aren't going away.
Brennan's interest in comedy started in childhood as the youngest of 10 kids in an Irish Catholic family.
And both my parents were born during the Great Depression, and they were nice enough to bring it with them.
What's the first time you realized this actually might be what you do for a living?
I remember a moment from my life when when Eddie Murphy was on Saturday Night Live. So I'm 8 and 9. My parents had pulled in the driveway. I wasn't supposed to be up watching Saturday Night Live, so I'd have to run upstairs and hop in bed. And at a certain point, I said to my mom, hey, you need to let me watch Saturday Night Live. It's important. I'm 8. I remember as I said it, I was like, what are you even saying? I didn't even know what I was saying. I just knew when I saw SNL, and I was like, it's something about it was like a beacon to me.
His passion for the craft stayed with him until college, but not for long, when he started being part of New York City's stand-up scene on the side.
I was going to film school, and I was like, something about this feels better than that. So I dropped out and started making $235 a week, working the door to comedy club, barking people inside. I was not good at it, and they called me No-Show Neal.
The connections he made in New York led to more and more opportunities over the years, including co-creating, co-writing, and co-executive producing one of the most groundbreaking and popular sketch shows of all time, Chappelle's Show.
This idea of telling the truth but poking something important in the eye, in a way came about working with Chappelle. Mm-hmm. Is that fair?
I was what I was like before I met Dave, and then I think part of the reason we work well together was because we're, if not temperamentally similar or even ideologically similar, a level of respect for each other's intellect and point of views. A lot of the times they matched. When they didn't, we would just use my point of view to sharpen his point of view.
Good Lord, we're back. Welcome to Chappelle Show. I still haven't been canceled yet, but I'm working on it.
At the height of the show's popularity, Chappelle famously and suddenly quit.
I was on set waiting for him.
What was that like for you?
Awful. It's horrible. Probably the worst period of my life, I would argue. I knew what he meant. I didn't agree with the approach, and et cetera, et cetera. I'd like to believe that my ways of being.
Brennan's career and comedy have continued to evolve. He's become more introspective.
My emotions.
And even more willing to share that part of himself with his audience.
I'd like to believe that they're not defects. They're grateful for the emotional part. That's another thing no one talks about. The vulnerability I show in blocks and in 3 mics is not that common.
Here we go, just 2 guys walking down Sunset Boulevard. Oh, well, look, it's where you started.
Yeah, it's where I do most of my shows.
And although Neal Brennan has come a long way since his early days in stand-up.
Does this not work for you? Is this good blocking or bad
Such a
blocking?
surprise. I was
He's content for now to stay right where he is.
I've kind of gotten weirdly less ambitious. I don't want my life to be ruined by ambition. I want purpose, but I don't want a heart attack. So I feel like that's where I am. And my life is manageable. Maybe it's me. Maybe something's wrong with me, right? Maybe I'm too cranky or wounded or misogynistic or something I don't even know I am, right? You know what I realized recently?
It's not you.
It's not me? Well, good, let's end the show. Good night, everybody.
For CBS Saturday Morning, Jamie Wax, Los Angeles.
Women, do you see the kind of belief?
I love that line. I didn't want my life to be ruined by ambition. I wanted purpose, but not a heart attack.
I love that he gets so emotional and introspective because it is rare to see that at that level in comedy.
I think some of those moments that we were all laughing at, and it's with all comedians, are those moments because you go, oh yeah, totally relate, totally relate.
It's funny and it's a little bit harsh,
Yeah,
but it's also
it's
true.
a little true.
Yeah.
A little truth in comedy.
Yeah.